Hi, hello, and welcome to my knitting TED Talk. The conditions are not ideal today. There is a lot of noise in the background because there's work being done on my house, and the light is weird right now. There is massive amount of clouds, and the sun is kind of trying to peek through so you can see these interesting, you know, shadows. But nonetheless, I will film this video. I've been pushing it off because of non-ideal situations, and now I'm deciding that I don't care, which is kind of a good point to make with the rest of the video because I want to talk about advanced techniques and when I believe it is time to try what most people call an advanced technique. That being said, we also do have a sponsored today for this video, which also fits the team really well. I'm saying team, the theme, my French is showing, the theme being advanced knitting techniques. Today's sponsor is The Knitting Circle. The Knitting Circle is an online resource for you to learn everything there is to learn about knitting. You will find videos on pretty much every subject you can think of. There is a tab that is categorized as advanced techniques, and you will find things like color work, obviously just trended color work. You'll find things like mosaic knitting and steeking and cables and tarja, all the techniques that you might be a little bit scared about. And some of those videos are longer where they're going to do an overview of all the techniques, and some are shorter where there's just a little snippet of things that people might want to know. These videos are made by professional knitting teachers, experts. Obviously, if you're having trouble with some of the techniques, you can ask questions directly on the videos and get some answers from the teachers themselves. I found things in there that I didn't even know had a name, like the Jacob's ladder. I had actually done that technique on a shawl before. I had no idea what it was called, and I found it on the Knitting Circle, and I was really happy to read some more about it afterwards. So if, like me, you love to learn new techniques and try things out, you can become a member of the Knitting Circle. Click on the link in the description box below to get your membership for 1 year at $149 only. That's $1.49, not $149, $1.49 for a full year of membership, and it is valid for new members only. Thank you so much, The Knitting Circle, for sponsoring this video. That being said, what is my hot take on advanced techniques is that there are not really advanced techniques, in my opinion, in knitting. There, I said it. I think that you can be a beginner knitter. And as a beginner knitter, you will learn, how to cast on, the knit stitch, the purl stitch, how to cast off. Maybe you'll learn some increases and decreases. I'm saying with an S, but you can learn only one of those, like one increase and one decrease, and you'll be entirely fine. And then the rest is just kind of a combination of all these things. The techniques that are deemed by people as advanced, in my opinion, we're giving them or the techniques way too much, not credit, but you know what I mean. We're talking about them as if, oh my God, this is so difficult. When actually most techniques, you just need to jump in. Jump in. Ha, like that. You don't need much more than knowing how to do a knit, a purl stitch, casting on, binding off, and increases, decreases. You might be stuck when you start knitting this new technique at some point, and that is why the internet is here, and there are so many resources online to learn those techniques that ultimately it is achievable for anyone. And when I say anyone, I do mean anyone. I've been knitting for a while. That's not what I wanted to say. I've been teaching knitting online for 6 years now, and I've had so many people write to me and say, oh my God, I've been waiting to do this technique. I've been waiting to be more advanced to do this technique for years, and now I'm doing it, and it's not that difficult. I should have done it before. Seriously, if something is motivating you, go for it. The worst that can happen is what? You'll have to unknit. Is that a bad thing? Not in my opinion. Is it frustrating a little bit? Maybe. But a knitting is an opportunity to learn. So you start something new, you try it, you might make mistakes. You look at it, you analyze it. You start by checking if there is a way to fix that mistake. Maybe you even try fixing the mistake. And when it doesn't work, then you unravel. There. That's the whole thing. And then you start again. And hopefully you don't make that mistake again. But you might not. The other thing that makes no technique a particularly advanced technique is the use of my best friend, the lifeline. Insert a lifeline any chance you have so that when you do make the mistake and you have to unknit, you are not scared of unraveling because you have the lifeline to save you, to save your beautiful progress. I'm saying all that. There are still some techniques that scare more people, and here are the main reasons why. Generally, I would have to say it's charts. A lot of people are scared of charts. Charts are easy. Charts are easy. You can read a chart. A chart is just a drawing. And once you know how to decode the drawing, you can knit from a chart. Is it more difficult than doing stockinette stitch or garter stitch? Yes, obviously. It is more complex. But is it difficult? I don't think so. So before I start mentioning the techniques that I think most people think as advanced, I would love to know in the comments which ones you think are advanced. Which technique do you believe needs more skill or more experience in order to do? And I'm curious to see if they'll match up with what I'm saying or what I'm hearing from others, because all those techniques that I'm going to mention, they don't particularly feel like advanced technique to me. They feel like advanced technique to the people that talk to me as a teacher. And I have to motivate them to try them anyway. So I would say stranded color work is one. Most people are scared to try. Two color brioche, absolutely. Even though for me, it's only a type of ribbing, basically. Oh boy, sun's coming out. Month of October in Montreal, man. It always changes. It was raining like crazy this morning, and now I'm being blinded by the light. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to keep going. Intarsia is absolutely one. I would say cables. If you've never done cables, some people are intimidated by cables. And then lace. So I think you can see that most of them have the same thing in common. Lace, stranded color work, and intarsia as well have charts usually. And then when mosaic sometimes has charts as well, but also two color, and I said mosaic, I meant brioche. Brioche has charts as well. So when you do two color brioche or intarsia or stranded color work, you're using multiple colors. That is intimidating to a lot of people. And the last one that I want to mention is steeking. And that one, I totally understand why people are saying it's an advanced technique. Because it's scary, because you do have to cut into your knitting. And once your knitting is cut, well, it's cut, right? If you made a mistake, you can't rejoin every single strand of yarn because your yarn is cut on every single row. So that's the one situation in which a lifeline will not save you. There is this second, because I said the first best friend to trying new technique is a lifeline, but the second best friend to trying a new technique, and that one, you might not like me when I talk about it, but it is very important. It is the good old swatch. You're intimidated by a technique? Grab some yarn, grab needles. It doesn't matter which ones, it doesn't matter the size, it doesn't matter the color, and try it out on a swatch before you cast on a project. Obviously, if you have a project in mind, Ideally, you do it with the yarn and needles that you're going to use for the project, so you already have a gauge swatch. But a swatch itself is not always a gauge swatch. A swatch is a way to learn. It's a way to practice. It's a way to see if you're actually encountering hurdles, things that you don't understand, that you have to look up if you're doing it correctly. If you mess up during your swatch, nobody cares, not even you. And also, a swatch is a great place to mess up on purpose. What happens if I do this? Oh, this happens. How do I fix it? Let's try to fix it. I messed up the fixing. It's a swatch. Nobody cares. So ultimately, what is preventing you or anyone from casting on a new technique, an advanced technique? Okay, I'm going to come forward a little bit because the sun clearly wants to stay out. I thought it was going to come back, go back on behind the clouds, but now all I can see is beautiful blue sky. Whatever. So what is preventing you from trying what most people call an advanced technique is the mentality that it's going to be hard and you're going to mess up and you might maybe lose your precious time or your yarn trying something new. Obviously, the yarn itself is not lost ever. And the time, not really lost either, because you learned during the time you were doing it. Mostly what I feel is stopping people from trying harder techniques or more advanced techniques is your own feeling of being scared. I see the word scared all the time in my comments. Chloe, I'm scared to try this, or I'm scared to try that. And what I want to tell you is you're not diffusing a bomb. I don't know why that idea came to my mind. Oh, it's because I just played a board game with friends that's about diffusing a bomb. That was fun. That was a fun game, stressful game, fun game. But you're not diffusing a bomb. You're knitting. So if you make mistakes, it's only knitting. It's fine. I know I said it's only knitting. It's not only knitting. It's beautiful, amazing, everything we love about knitting. But it's still knitting, which won't hurt anyone, not even you. And you've tried something new. And whenever I hear people saying, Chloe, I'm scared of trying something, I want to bring them back to something that I've said to my kids before, is a mind shift, because the feeling of being scared is very similar to the feeling of being excited. So when you're feeling these jitters, or you're trying something new and it gets you a little, how about we say, I'm excited. I'm excited to try this technique. I don't know if it's going to be perfect, but I'm excited to try, instead of I'm scared to try. It changes your whole view on the situation. And I really love to remember that when I taught a steeking class at Twist Festival 2 years ago, I think, or 3, I don't remember. I was teaching a steeking class, and I was also teaching a stranded colorwork class. Both classes were full. Most people in both those classes were long-term knitters, people that have been knitting for a long time. And for the steeking class, I had asked the participants to make a stranded colorwork cuff type thing that we were going to cut into. And so I sent a chart, and I told them, knit this on these type needles-ish. I want this size yarn, and we're going to do the steek once you're in class. And this one student arrived, he sat down. Everybody else in that room was saying that they were, they've been knitting for a long time. They never steek because they were scared. And he said, I've been knitting for 3 months. This was my first ever colorwork project, which was my swatch that I had asked them to make. I actually am taking your colorwork class next, but I just want to try everything. And everybody in the room was like, oh my God, you're going to cut into your knitting. You've only been knitting 3 months. And I said, good on you for trying all the things, because it gets the scary part out. You're just trying it. And you know that you're going to not be perfect at it because you're just starting. And it's fine. Everybody's allowed to try complex things, even if they're just a beginner, right? And that's how we get better. So that was my little talk about advanced techniques here, because I think that what is advanced to you might not be the same thing that is advanced to me. What you struggle with is not the same thing as I struggle with, and how I view the techniques is probably not the same as how you view the techniques. And I am here as an educator to convince you that the more you try things, the more things you try, the better you're going to be. And the more you try things, the less intimidating everything else will become. When I started knitting, I started with the classic scarf, and then I moved on to knitting in the round, and then I added cables, and then I wanted to do color work, and then the progression went quite quickly because I wanted to challenge myself. I get it that some people are knitting only to relax, and that is absolutely fine. If you're not there to challenge yourself, if you're there only to relax, don't pick up those advanced techniques. It's all fine. If knitting stockinette stitch and garter stitch in basic shapes is what you love, I am here with you, not knocking down what you love to do. I need a balance. I need a challenging project and a non-challenging project all at once, so I can kind of change what I'm knitting based on my mood. But I'm saying that if you need a challenge, or if you feel like you want a challenge, don't stop yourself at what people are saying is too difficult or too advanced. Go for something that motivates you. Try it, swatch it, correct your mistakes, find videos that will help you fix your mistakes. And if there are techniques that you feel there is not enough documentation on, or you haven't quite found the right educator to teach you that particular technique, let me know, because I'd love to make more videos, more tutorial videos, even though there are a lot on the internet. Sometimes you watch 15 videos on the same subject and it doesn't really click, and then you watch someone in particular and it clicks. So if you are interested in me covering some techniques, let me know. I know that my videos on stranded color work are very popular and I'm very proud of them. Go check them out if you're interested. I'm gonna link them right here, and we'll see each other again in the next video. Thank you again to the Knitting Circle for sponsoring this video. Happy knitting. Bye.